Hello and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel, and thank you for stopping by. This video is part 2 of the cover letters or the letter to the consulate. If you haven't watched part 1, please go ahead and do so now, as it talks about the general layout of your cover letter. In this video, we're going to talk about the bulk. What do we put in? What is relevant to us? What information will support us and give us the best chances for getting our visa? So let's get started. So point number 1 I want to talk about in your letter: travel. What you are going to do on each day. You can break down and say, on this day, I'm going to do this travel activity or this tourist activity, especially if you've done your research or you've actually went and booked maybe tourist activities. If you haven't done that, don't worry. You can still go and put, on this day, I plan to visit here. On this day, I'm going to do this. Show them. If you're applying for a tourist visa, the tourist activities that you're going to do. Doesn't it make sense? Number 2, the most important thing is providing supporting documents. What do I mean? The visa officer wants to make sure that you are a genuine traveler. They want to make sure that you are planning to leave their country at the end of the trip, that they want to be convinced that you have enough reason to leave, that you will not stay there and live there in their country. The supporting documents can be anything that ties you to another country rather than theirs. It can be your home country, or if you're applying from a country that you reside in. Things like, if you own a car, provide proof of that. If you have a lease rental agreement, provide that. Provide information if you own a company in another country. Provide if you have a family and maybe your family are not traveling with you. Provide their passport copies or their resident visas. Or if you have children who are in school, or a partner, wife or husband who's attending college, provide anything that ties you to another country. If your kids are attending school and you've paid fees in advance, show that to them. You might be like, why do they care? Because you've paid the fees in advance, because it shows that you're still planning to leave their country. It ties you to another country. If you own property or land in your home country or country you reside in, this is also great evidence. If you are working, provide that. Provide information that proves that you're working, that you are going to return back because of this work that you have. Any commitments that you have, you need to provide the evidence for. And not only provide the evidence, you reference it in your letter and explain to them as if you're talking to somebody who has no idea about you. These people don't. They've no idea about you. Explain to them why you're providing this. I'm providing my children's school fees for the year to prove to you that I plan to leave, that my child will return to school or my children will return to school. I'm providing you with my company because I own a company in another country. Of course, you're not going to leave your company, and it's great evidence. Anything that you can think of, you give it to them. And a lot of clients say to me, but do they really need to see all this information? Yes, they want to see this information, and you need to explain why you're giving them this information. Number 4, bank statement. I am going to make another video on bank statements alone, but let's talk about bank statements briefly. It needs to be an account that has your salary going into it, and you need to reference that in your letter. If you receive your salary in cash, I recommend that you get a letter from your employer stating that you receive it in cash, and explain it in your letter that you receive your salary in cash, and state that you're providing evidence from your employer that this is so, that you do receive your salary in cash. Why? Because if a visa officer sees cash going into your bank statement, they will think that you do not have the financial means, that that money is not yours, that you have borrowed money from a friend, put it into your account, and now you're going to apply for this visa. So how do you explain it to them in the letter? The letter explains everything that you are and everything to them. Another point, if you are not traveling on a tourist visa, if it's a visit family friend visa that you are traveling on, explain this to them. Explain who you are going to visit. Get an invitation letter off this person. Get a copy of their passport. If they're a resident in that country, also get their residence visa. If they're working in the country, provide proof of their work and reference it in your letter why you're giving them all of this information. If the person is going to support you, you can get their bank statements off them and provide that also and reference it in your letter. If they're inviting you and they're going to be paying, for your food, and you're going to be staying with them, get 2 utility bills off them with their address on it as proof of address, because you won't have the hotel accommodation. So you'll be staying with them instead. The visa officer still needs to know where you are staying. And again, reference it in your letter. Why you're giving 2 utility bills? Because this is proof of address of where you're going to be staying, and this is a proof of accommodation. When writing a letter, it can be really difficult, especially if English is not your first language. How do you come across professional? First of all, you should be writing your letter on a computer that has spell check. Spell check it. Second of all, go on to a website that provides free grammar check or paraphrasing. Sometimes I use both. Grammar check will put commas and punctuation into your letter that maybe you didn't realize should be there. Paraphrasing can make your letter sound more professional and more fluent. All you have to do is Google these, take a paragraph after you've written your letter, copy it, paste it into one of these free, and then click search. They will change it for you. So what visa officer doesn't want to see a professional letter at the end of reading it? It makes you sound more professional and more educated. I'm not saying you're not educated, but writing a letter in another language can be really difficult. To be honest, I've never had to do it. Like, English is my fluent language, my native tongue. I've never had to do it. I can't imagine what it would be like. Use the tools that are out there after you have written your letter. And also remember that nothing is too little. You're not writing about your life story saying, when I was a child, I did this. No, but you're writing about your current situation right now in your life and providing everything to them, referencing it in the letter as to why you will leave their country at the end of your stay. And it's so important. So after you've written your letter, I wish you the best of luck on your visa and hope that you will be granted it. Also, if you have any advice for me on videos that I can make in the future, go ahead and leave it in the comments, because I want to give you all of the information that I have in my head. I've been running my own company since 2017, and I am famous for writing letters, and I am famous for genuinely caring about my clients. I have a huge amount of information based on short-term visas, which is business, visit visas, and tourist visas in my head. I want to make videos on everything and give you everything that is in my head and help you with the best possible chances of getting your visa. So please leave a comment if there's anything that you would wish me to go ahead and do, and I will do it absolutely no problem. Also, subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up on the video, and notify the bell notifications if you can. You will be notified any new video that I bring out. And of course, if you plan to travel the world, you will definitely need the advice that I have to offer you. So stay tuned to my channel and let's follow along and get you the visa that you want. Thank you.